The next equity issue that we are going to look at is school equipment, school supplies. What does a child need, and what happens when you don't have the supplies you need? A child that's attending classes without writing material, such as a pen or a pencil, the child is not going to be able to remember everything the teacher says. It's impossible. It's even an unrealistic expectation. So if I don't have a pencil, I can't take notes, I can't write, I can't practice, I can't calculate, and therefore I may end up in trouble. And because of that, what happens is that children struggle. I may not think I am very good. I may not have a good self-image of myself because I see people around me writing and doing things. So what can I do? Okay, I could borrow from a friend. Great. My friend may not have more than one pencil to share, so he breaks his pencil in half, gives me half. Okay, I can't write with a broken pencil. I need a sharpener. Do you see how one issue leads into another? And very soon, depending on the kind and how much writing happens, soon my friend may not have a pencil to write with. Is that fair? So when we look at all these kinds of disparities that could happen in a classroom, we are not encouraging students to be thinking. We are not encouraging students to be involved in their learning experiences. So unless we can provide to these students all the stationery, the equipment, the supplies that they will need, our students will not be successful, especially those that come from poverty and below poverty line families. Clearly, the lack of relatively basic school learning equipment, pens, pencils, books, bags, geometry sets, is significantly related to parents' low income. Okay, we might say it doesn't cost much, but to a family that earns 8,000 rupees a month, that 20 rupee geometry box may be very, very expensive. And so what does one do? And without the geometry box, the child is not going to be able to learn the basics of geometry and making lines and angles and circles and all those kinds of things. And so you can't share a geometry box. There's only one set of set squares, one compass, one divider, one ruler in the geometry box. So no one is going to share a geometry box with another student. It is the poor who cannot afford to buy school equipment and or send their children to school. So you see how the poor tend to get poorer because they can't afford to send their children to school. They can't afford, even when the school is free and provides textbooks, to help send the child to school and provide for the other hidden costs that schools and classrooms require today. And so the poor tend to get poorer. Several research studies indicate students who do not have books show lower performance in terms of attendance, achievement, repetition. Yes, if I don't have a book, okay, the government provides me with textbooks, but I need something to write with. I need my copies, my exercise books, my journals. And without that, if I don't have them, why am I going to school? I will be absent, I will miss school, I will miss classes, I will not perform well. That does not help in the long run. Possession of a geometry box correlates positively with having access to education. Do I have a geometry box? Because only if I have the geometry box will I learn to use the instruments in there. And only when I learn to use the instruments in there can I perform well on assessments, tests, quizzes, and so on, and therefore can get better scores and better grades. Students without school bags were significantly low attendees and low achievers. You see how we pile books and copies on students today. So I'm not going to carry 15, 16, 18, 20 sets of books to school every day. I can't carry them in shoppers. Shoppers are not that strong and sturdy. They don't hold that much, and I can't change shoppers every 2 days. And so without a school bag, either I'm coming to school without books or with very few books, 2 or 3 that I feel like carrying, and that's what I am working on. Is that beneficial to students? No, it is not. So a school bag, and school bags today are not cheap. Provision of basic school learning equipment to the poor or to all students needs to be complex or costly. If we are to provide, and we can't provide this only to the poor student. You are poor, your parents are not making enough money, so we are going to give you this. Your parents are making enough money. It does not go well for students who come from poor family backgrounds. So either you give it to everyone. All children in schools get stationery, books, copies, geometry boxes, everything that they need. Removing this practical barrier to the marginalized might diminish a problem of equity in access to basic education. So if all children receive this from the school, from the government, from a sponsor, from a donor, wherever, if children receive it, all of them, the equity will be closer together. Every child, no matter what family background, what poverty level the child comes from, all students receive all supplies that they will need. And hence, with equity there will be better learning, better education can be provided to young people.